that helped me in the last couple of years. One is Romans 8:28, and different. I teach Greek, so I love the kind of details of words and things. But a lot of translations translate it, all things work together for good for those who love God, to those who are called according to His purposes. And I think the better way to translate it. So here's the nerdy technical part: is all things is neuter in the form of the word, could be the object or the subject. So are all things working, or is someone working all things? And I think the better way to translate it is that God is the implied subject. So God is working all things together for good to those who love Him. So, over the last 2 years, I've dealt with some kind of personal health up and downs, and so there's a couple of events that I'm going to talk about maybe as one. But I had a herniated cervical disc, so spinal issue 2 years ago, and incredible pain. Was couldn't get out of bed for 2 weeks. At the time, about 35 years old, and they're talking about potential spine surgery and all this stuff, and so it was a really hard time for me personally and for our family. Fortunately, I was able to kind of through physical therapy work through it, recover, but there were a lot of nerve pain. It damaged my nerves, so that had muscle weakness in my arm. At one point, I couldn't even pour a glass of milk with a full gallon of milk because my arm wasn't working. So I worked really hard through therapy, and about 6 months later was probably about 95% better. So kind of felt like I was through it. Over almost a year to the day, so back in November of 2018, started having similar pains in my left arm, and didn't really have any event that triggered it, and was kind of getting all of these weird neurological symptoms all over the place. So that sent us on a several-month journey of trying to figure out what was going on. Went to 13 different doctors, and spine doctors, neurologists, orthopedic doctors, and no one could really pinpoint what the problem was. And so they think we have a diagnosis now, but 6 months later, still kind of dealing with some of those issues. So in the middle of those two things, one of the things I'm grateful for is that the time that I was able to spend kind of questioning my faith in a good way, thinking critically about what I believe, was really able to give me a framework and some tools to help me through some of those struggles. So in a lot of ways, the last 2 years and some of the personal struggles that I've been going through have really strengthened my faith and confirmed things that in my head I would acknowledge or believe, but it's one thing to say something, and then when you have to put it into practice,